I think she wants it.
I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole. Seasick crocodile.
Alright, so what is the build we'll be going? We're going to be doing our full clear, and we want to go back at 1100 gold so we can get our Caulfield's hammer. We're going to start by getting the brand new item, J-Force Spear itself, the Sundered Sky. That's going to be our opening this game. We're going to smite this one because we want to kill this as soon as possible. You'll see when we're done the first clear what I mean. But we definitely want this cleared as fast as possible. Because ideally, in a perfect situation, what we're going to do is we're going to do our full clear. We're going to go B, Caulfield's hammer at 1100, then we're going to go straight to Dragon and start it, because we want to be able to get that Dragon right at 5 minutes. It'll give the team a giant boost, and it'll get it off the map so that the enemy team can't do it, and it'll push us towards that soul, and I want to be testing out the Infernal soul a lot more. So the faster we can get it spawning, the better. So, normally I'd dig into the matchups and how those affect things, but on PBE, everyone's just playing the most random stuff, so it's hard to really gauge how good anything will be, or how matchups are supposed to go. It's also hard because with PBE, there's a lot of random ranks. Like, you don't know what rank people are, there's no MMRs, so you could literally probably have challengers in the same game as Iron players. It is entirely possible. Lexa. If you're hearing any ringing, that's Lexa. She's just scratching away. So the goal is we want to get down here and get this. We want to get it done super fast because there's a slight chance that the enemy jungler might just be a little bit faster. It is Shyvana, so I wouldn't be surprised if she's a bit faster than us. Gonna let all these spawn. 1E. Nice. We're gonna max Q first. Just it allows us to get around the map a lot faster. I have seen builds where you max other things. I just found the Q is a lot easier to max. No way. Oh, that was so close. Okay. So she did use Smite, which means if we get down to the scuttle very fast, we'll have Smite. She won't. Looking for a little bit of help. So right here entirely depends on if Zed comes down, because if nobody comes down, you can't do anything. Like, it's lost. But it's only lost if you make it lost. So yeah, remember when I said we need to kill Gromp as fast as possible? This is why, because we're going to come right back here, and we want to be able to kill it here. Dragon's up in 40 seconds. We kill this. Takes us 8 seconds to recall. We buy, and then we want to get to Dragon. As soon as it spawns, we want to be attacking it. And that's also why getting this first scuttle is super important, because then we don't have to worry about working around the vision to do the Dragon. Alright, so we're going to go B. We're going to have about 15 seconds to get to the Dragon, which is more than enough time. We have exactly 1100, and this is also why you don't take a potion in the beginning. See, if I did take the potion, I'd have to wait for an extra, like, 15 gold there. So you save a couple seconds just by not grabbing the potion early on. And you saw even when I was contesting for that scuttle, I was full HP. Vi has a lot of self-mitigated damage as well as healing, so I'm not too worried about having a potion early on. First dragon is Ocean. I've always said Ocean is probably the best dragon to have exactly at 5 minutes because it gives everybody on your team just natural regen. It's really, really good, especially if your team is against a lot of poke champions in lane. Looking at this, it does seem like a decent amount of poke, nothing too crazy though. Now, with the new patch, what we have to remember is the Voidlings spawn at the exact same time as Dragon up here. So these are going to be the 3 guys where if you kill them, they give dot damage when you attack structures. If you get 5 of them, your attacks spawn a minion. If you get all 6 of them, your attacks spawn 2 minions. So getting them is super, super important, especially if you have something like a Nasus that is split push. Now, this is what I like about this spawning right away, as well with Dragon, spawning at the same time as Dragon, is it does have that choice where it's not like old Herald, where it's like you went Dragon and nothing else was important. Okay, so that flash, that might have seemed weird, that I wasn't trying to kill there. I was literally just trying to get her to be forced to go B. So now she's like 1 HP, she has to go B, which means I have full reign over these guys. If I killed, that would have been cool, but that wasn't the intention there. So when you do kill one of these guys, they do get a pretty juicy shield. And save any AoE you have for these guys all spawning, because they do kind of hurt. Okay, no, that actually went pretty well. Now, one thing we have to worry about is Shyvana coming back down. I kind of want to just give this. I don't know where Shyvana is. Yeah. Yeah, so Nasus is B, Teemo is coming, and Diana's already there. So we're just going to give that one up. We got 2 out of 3, which is completely fine. All we have to do is get 2 of the next 3. So ideally, we set that up pretty nicely. Dragon will be up in 3.5 minutes. I think they spawn at the exact same time, so we might have to make a choice. Although, since Dragon died first, there's a good chance that Dragon just spawns before that. And if we're in place, we'll be able to get that with that no problem. Alright, so the other component, Tunneler, just 15 attack damage, 250 HP. You're going to go Caulfield every time, just the cooldown reduction is just going to be way better than a little bit more HP. Unless you're like, I don't think there's too many situations in which you would ever choose Tunneler. Of all the new components they added, Tunneler is probably the most uninteresting one, just because it just adds the most basic of stats. It doesn't have anything extra on it. There's no real juice, so you can kind of ignore that one for the most part. Also, did they not kill this? So this is still up. We're going to clear this, we're going to go B, and then we're going to go back there. So how they have it now is Herald actually spawns at 14 minutes, so you won't be using Herald to get plates anymore. That's a actually decent change. One thing I did find was if you got that at the right time and you brought it top, killed their top laner, it kind of just destroyed the entire top lane for whoever had it used against them. So I actually like that the Herald spawns a lot later now. Big reminder to all junglers out there, if you go B and you have the gold, always buy pinks. Always, always, always buy pinks. You don't want to be guessing when it comes to ganks. You can delay scanner a little bit, but I like getting it usually on my second back. Yes, Lex, I know. My dog got new toys, so now she wants me to throw them 24/7, so you might have to get used to the dog being all excited. Yes, I know, Lexa. Okay, so we're gonna get this. I do have ult. I do want to check this out, because if this isn't taken, I don't know if the other guys will spawn. We do have smite in 5 seconds, so we should be able to get this. It is the 900 damage smite as well. No, that was super unfortunate. Right as we got like right here with the Q, she ulted us. No, though if Zed can get a kill, we not only get the third Void Link, okay, we also get the kill and the assist. That is incredibly massive. A little unfortunate with how that turned out for us, but in the long run, it's going to be a lot better. So now we're going to make our way bot. We're going to get some vision cleared out here. We're going to set ourselves up for Dragon. Second one's Hex Tech. Ideally, my perfect situation is having Ocean and Mountain. If you're only going to have 2 dragons in your individual, I much prefer Ocean and Mountain. They just give way more sustain than anything else, which I think is more important. Lex, huh? Lex is living her best life down there. Alright. Overextending maybe a little bit. The enemy team, that is. Okay, so we see Shyvana bot. Able to clear out some vision. And we're just going to plop the pink down here. Unfortunately, I don't think me and Zed will either of us will have our ult for this fight. I'm going to go get Gromp really quick. That'll give us level 6. It's not a huge deal. I don't even really do it for the skill level up. It's more so the fact that you get like 100 HP out of it, which in these early games fights is incredibly massive. Yeah, next time we attack a tower, I'll make sure to show what it looks like when you attack the tower with the new buff. Alright, I see Zed has ult in 8 seconds. I'll have ult in 20 seconds. I do have smite, so I think it's totally fine to start Dragon right now. I'm looking mid. I'm seeing... Oh my god. I think it's... Yeah, if he just walks to us, walk to us. So, this might be a little bit of a weird decision, but I could have gone to help him, but then that would mean that we would have had to do a dragon fight eventually. This way, I delay things a little bit, but we eventually get the dragon. We're able to get a good catch-off, and Shyvana should be dead. Okay, perfect. So, looking at the new soul, it doesn't burn the map anymore. I believe it's the only dragon now that doesn't change the visuals of the map, because before it used to burn a bunch of bushes. But now it spawns little buffs that you gotta pick up, so little pieces of candy will spawn all over. You'll see them as little specks all over the map. But we gotta pick those up. The more you pick up, the more cooldown reduction you get. And also when you pick them up, it does give you a little speed boost, so it might be a thing if you're running away and you grab one of those really quick, you'll get a little bit of a speed boost to help you out run away. Or catch up to someone. Either one could work. So yeah, these are the buffs right here. You pick these up, you get a little speed boost, you get a buff. So you'll see the little thing right here, the Infernal Cinders. The more of these you pick up, you'll get a bunch of cooldown reduction. And these do... I thought when these first came out, I thought it was a thing where they spawn an X amount, and once they're picked up, they're good. Because when you do die, they drop all of your stacks, and then people can pick them up. So even if someone's like, let's say, 0-5, but they spent like 10 minutes just picking up things, they might actually have like thousands of gold worth of stats just from picking up stuff. So there's a new item that costs 250 gold. It gives you 5 cooldown reduction. And I think how this thing works is every 3 you get, it gives you 1 cooldown reduction. So it's about 200, if you get like 15 of them, it's about 250 gold worth of stats. Yeah, we'll see more, and they're usually littered throughout lane, throughout, all through the jungle and everything. So you'll see blue buff looks a little bit different here. So there's 3 forms of blue buff now, and red buff. So the first one is your base, normal red and blue buff. You kill it, you get a buff. Cool. The second one is the one we see on live. With the second one person can pick it up. Once we get to the last one spawns once Baron Nashor spawns. So once Baron spawns at 20 minutes, all the blue buff and the red buffs will swap to their third version. Now what the third version does is when you kill it, regardless of where your team is on the map, they could be down here. And you're at blue buff, it'll give your team blue buff. It gives all 4 of your teammates blue buff, no matter where they are. So if you... This way, there's no more fighting over, okay, I want blue buff. No, I want blue buff. No, it's like, you could be a Yuumi and you're getting double buff. Now, this is a little insane. This is probably the biggest buff on the map of anything. Because late game, pretty much everyone's going to have double buff. So, we hate Teemo, so we're actually just going to snag this guy really quick. Also, I haven't been able to get a kill yet, so I got to juice myself up a little bit. And welcome to the new Rift Herald. So, what does the new Rift Herald do? Now, this thing only walks. It no longer charges automatically. However, when you do use it, you can hop inside it and steer it yourself. Imagine it, it's exactly like a Scion ult, except with Rift Herald. And you can do it multiple times. I've even seen people use it, and then they've used it right here, and they run the other way. So you can actually use it to escape, too. Now, you're not going to get any gold on it, but you can use it to run away, technically. You can use it to knock up champions, you can use it to hit towers. It's a little more versatile. The only downside is, that I've seen so far, is a lot of times I like dropping Rift Herald, walking away, getting my plates, and kind of ignoring everything else. You can't do that now, because it just walks up. It doesn't actually charge unless somebody's in it. So you can't just like leave it, like I almost did. You can't just leave it in a lane, forget about it, and collect gold. Like, it's not going to march down the lane solo anymore and get you gold. Somebody has to be there, so it's that bit of a trade-off where it has more uses, but it has... You have to be there for all of it, basically, or it's just going to walk up and auto-attack stuff. Now, we're going to get, like, one more camp, and then we're going to go B. I know I have so many camps up. I have so much gold. It's just, when you're winning this hard, you kind of just don't need to be going B constantly. There's this saying from StarCraft 2 called, where they say, when you're ahead, get more ahead. Which means, if you're already winning, there's no point in taking, like, big risks. You can just sit back for a little bit and just farm for a bit. Get even more ahead. Extend the lead. So, we just got our new item. What is it? Sundered Sky. 55 attack damage, 300 HP, 15 ability haste. Lightning Shield Strike. 6-second cooldown per target. The first basic attack against a champion crits for 150% and heals for your attack damage plus 6% of missing health. Excess healing is granted as temporary bonus health. So, this thing hurts. The downside is, while it heals you, I do feel a lot squishier than a lot of the older builds. So the build we're getting this, we're getting Trinity Force, and then we're going to Experimental Hexblade. That'll give us a lot of the damage we need, while also giving us the survivability as well. So, on the PBE, every single soul is going to be Infernal, because they want the new Infernal tested. I would have liked to see Mountain also added, so that we can also test out what the Mountain changes look like. Okay, cool. My team showed up, thank God. Because that was a little spooky. Okay. This is rough times. Oh no. That was a mistake. Alright, so yeah, I did not realize Shyvana was that strong. Okay, she was 2-2 with one item. Okay, maybe she wasn't super strong, but oh well. Okay, let's just figure out how the Herald works. Let's do that instead. Thankfully, Nasus was able to get top tower. Nasus is pretty huge, so I think later in the game, as long as we focus Shyvana, it should be pretty decent. Now, seeing Shyvana build Eclipse is a little bit random. I've never actually seen that before, so maybe it works. Although she did just get a Quadra, so I think it does work. Also, there's a new fist bump feature. If you're walking near somebody and you press U, it'll do a fist bump, or they'll just leave you hanging. Okay, so let's try out this Herald. So it gives you an 8-second charge. So if I use it here, I wait till it spawns. I catch a ride, and I can aim it any direction I want. It's actually a 12-second charge. I go. Boom. And it'll even spawn little dudes. It has a short cooldown, but then I can hop right back in, or we can just go right back. Well, yeah. All right, cool. Anyway, we're going to go back and get our blue buff. So yeah, it's manually controlled. You do get a decent amount of time with it. It can usually bring you tower to tower in the bot lane is what I found. Get this buff in a minute and a half. I can get my red buff, and I'll show you the fact that it jumps to everyone, which is really, really cool. Now, with the Sundered Sky and the Infinity Edge, it does do an insane amount of damage, but you kind of have to know your limits because you're not nearly as tanky as you'd like to be. Dude, my dog is having the time of her life right now. Well, so Shyvana's getting a little scary, so we might have to just get super strong very fast and then beat her up a little bit. Okay, I guess Zed's gonna do it for us. Zed is also pretty massive. He did get Mauve Malmortius. One thing I absolutely love is Mauve Malmortius. It's one of my favorite items to get. It is so underrated. I know early on people were talking about how it's like such a useless item, but I found it really good. Like, I never feel bad about buying it. Okay, we're gonna counter jungle a little bit. We have Baron up in 50 seconds. I'm gonna hold, even if my red spawns right away, I'm gonna hold on and farming it for a little bit. Okay, cool. So yeah, we do a decent amount of damage here. We just absolutely melted Diana there. Although we still want that Trinity Force, we're still a good 300 gold away from it. We're gonna farm Scuttle. We're gonna get our Wraiths, and then we're gonna go get our Trinity Force. And then seeing how the map goes, if we can pick off Shyvana, it might even be a Baron angle. When Baron spawns, I'll show you guys the new look of it. And also, I believe, yeah, you can see it right here. Look at him. Look at him. He's sneaking. So yeah, that's the new Baron. The new look. Looks incredible. And actually, I believe it's based on if people die near Baron, the actual map will change. So you'll see a lot different, more avenues, and it'll look a lot cooler around there. It changes up how a lot of, like, maybe some champions will actually do better in the pit, because it can become a very narrow pit, where it's just like one long line rather than one big open battlefield. So I'm really excited to see what kind of team fights arise from that. But now that we have the rank 3 red buff, watch, as soon as I kill it, it just pops to everybody. Everybody on the team has red buff here. Even though Nasus was at the absolute bottom of the map, he still gets red buff. So that's a massive buff. So now nobody's worrying about who's killing this. The 80 carry won't have to go all the way over here to get red buff. Somebody can just go grab it, and it'll just deliver it right to your team. So now that we have our Sundered Sky and Trinity Force, we do an insane amount of damage. I think we can kill Shyvana. I don't know if we can 1v1 Shyvana, but I think if me and one friend come, we can nuke her pretty fast. I'm gonna go fight Diana here, see what the damage looks like. Somebody's here. Are you gonna solo queue so I can queue and keep playing? Yeah, I'm just gonna solo for a little bit here. Alright, perfect. So yeah, that did a decent amount of damage. Once we get Dragon, we're gonna go try to get the Herald. Bet, I got you. Who you been playing today? I had really bad luck. Yesterday I tried playing some games, and half the games were just people leaving in the first, like, minute, or, like, they die and they leave, or they didn't get their champion so they'd leave. Like, I think I played 9 games and I was able to get 1 quality game. It was pretty rough. Alright, so we got Infernal Drake coming up. We see a lot of these things. It actually kind of gives you something to do while objectives are spawning, is gathering all these little pieces of candy. But yeah, I just love the, being able to properly build Trinity Force now on Vi just feels incredible, because it's such a strong item, and it's one that you can quickly just sneak in. That was super unfortunate, but she did die, okay? Can we do Baron now? Is this a Baron angle? It might just be. Perfect. Yeah, we Baron. Get the pieces of candy. Get the pieces of candy. Nice. New Baron buff. I don't think that... I'll read it, but I don't believe the actual buff has changed at all. I just believe it's the visuals and the pit have changed. Okay, so we see Diana's bot. Shyvana's dead, so this should be a guaranteed Baron buff. Just snag that really quick. Alright, cool. Oh no, Teemo. Alright, perfect. The attack speed is insane, by the way. Just wait till I get experimental... whatever the new item is. Okay, we're gonna hunt this Hui. Oh my god, that was really good by him. Yeah, you can't escape. See, and yeah, as you see, when someone dies, they drop all their little dudes, so you're able to just pick those up. So it's like a mini bounty system. Like, if you have an enemy that's sitting on 100 stacks, it's actually really good to just focus them down and kill them, because you get so much stats from it. And they basically lose a bunch of gold worth of stats.